Please be seated. Attorney Raymond.
Thank you. The state calls Deputy Greg Leatherberry to the stand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Good morning. Sir, if you feel you can do so safely and responsibly, testifying without the mask would be the preference if you can. Thank you so much. Go right ahead.
Good morning. Could you please state your name for the record, both first and last, and spell both?
Greg Leatherberry, Grealeatherberry.
How are you employed?
I'm a deputy sheriff with the Dane County Sheriff's Office.
And were you employed as such in July of 2021?
Yes, I was.
And what unit of the Dane County Sheriff's Office do you belong to?
I'm currently assigned to the crime scene unit where I've been working for the past 22 years. I've been a deputy sheriff with the Dane County Sheriff's Office for 29 years.
And I'm going to show you, Deputy, what has been marked as Exhibit 175. How would you identify Exhibit 175?
This is my CV.
Okay. And for those that are not in the scientific community, that's like a resume,
That is correct, yes.
but it has all your trainings. And can you just name a few of the trainings that you have participated in?
I've participated in the Basic Recruit Academy, the jail school. From there, I went on to patrol and ultimately ended up in the crime scene unit where I've received numerous hours of training. I've received training at Fox Valley Technical College for the 2-week evidence tech program. I have attended the Wisconsin State Death Investigation School, the 2-week program at Green Lake. I have attended the Death Investigation School at Northwestern University. I've attended the Bloodstain Pattern Analysis training at the BCA in Minnesota, which is the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. I've had fingerprint training from the FBI, and there's numerous more schools as well.
At this time, I would move Exhibit 175 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
It is received.
As part of your job working for the Dane County Sheriff's Office Crime Scene Unit, do you also work in cooperation with the Crime Scene Unit from the Department of Justice?
That is correct, yes, I do.
And do you also work in concert with the Wisconsin State Crime Lab?
Yes.
How does working in cooperation with those departments assist you in your job duties?
Well, they have subject matter experts that have more extensive training in particular disciplines that can assist us when it comes to processing a scene or to do further analysis of evidence that we collect. And those items that get submitted to the crime lab are items that they would do the analysis on that we request for them to do.
In the midst of this case, were you asked by the fingerprint expert at the Wisconsin State Crime Lab to get more complete or better fingerprints from Mr. Halderson?
Yes, there was a request for additional fingerprints. When a person is typically booked into the jail, the fingerprints are obtained on everybody that is booked in. And those are just basic fingerprints. Sometimes they need what they refer to as major case prints, And the major case prints would include additional areas of the finger that contain friction ridge that is normally not collected during the brooking process.
So basically, those major case prints would include the sides of each finger.
That is
or of
correct.
A rolling print.
That is correct.
And for the record, do you see the person whose fingerprints you collected in the courtroom?
I'll ask before the witness answers for everyone outside of the jury box to lower their mask for a few moments so that the witness can see everyone's face. Go ahead and replace your masks, please.
Do you see Chandler
Yeah.
Halderson?
Yes, I do.
Could you please identify him by where he's seated and perhaps the color of his shirt?
He is seated to the table to my right. He's wearing a dark sports coat and appears to be a dark tie with a light colored shirt.
I would ask the record to reflect the witness has identified the defendant.
It shall.
Could you please identify what is marked as his Exhibit 362?
These are fingerprints that were obtained during a search warrant of Mr. Halderson.
And those are the prints that you collected?
Yes, they are.
And these are those rolling prints?
Correct.
At this time, I would move Exhibit 362 into evidence.
No objection.
They are received.
Deputy, what was your primary task in this investigation?
Well, the primary task in this investigation is the evaluation of the crime scene, the documentation of the crime scene, the collection of the evidence, and the preservation of the evidence so that could be later tested if need be.
And specifically, were you basically in charge of the search at the 4595 Oak Springs Circle address in Dane
Yeah.
County, Wisconsin?
Yes, I was.
Just generally, how do you process a crime scene such as a complete single-family home?
Well, the process of the crime scene, although it may sound simple, is pretty complex. And it takes a number of different things for that to be accomplished. And one person obviously cannot do that all by themselves. And I had significant help from Deputy James Plenty and Deputy Eric Schneider, as well as members of this Wisconsin State Crime Laboratory Field Response and the Wisconsin Department of Criminal Investigations Arson Response Unit.
What's the first thing you do when you enter a home to begin a search?
Well, the first thing is we're taking photographs and we're evaluating and getting a better understanding as to what had occurred at the scene.
I think you described to me that at first you guys walk around quiet.
That is correct.
Tell us about that.
What I like to do, and has worked for me over the years, I learned this from my predecessor, that when we go into the crime scene, whether I'm with my partner Jim Plenty or with Eric Schneider, that we take everything in. We take our notes in with us, but when I say we take everything is, we don't talk to each other. We evaluate the entire scene, and we don't talk to each other because we don't want to taint each other's mind. Each person may see things a little bit differently. So I found it's best that we walk through the scene, evaluate the scene, and then after we've done a complete walkthrough of the scene and we've done our evaluation, then we talk amongst each other. And we're not only getting understanding as to what each other has seen, but we're also forming a game plan as to how we were going to process this thing and what additional resources we may need to call in.
So that first time that you guys walk through in silence helps you map out a game plan
That is
for
correct.
the specific scene.
And I've referred to it as like a golden hour. It takes a significant amount of time to go through a house as large as that.
And you said you photograph the whole area.
That is correct.
Now, let me ask you, when you guys are walking around, do you wear anything special to assist you?
Oh, absolutely. We're getting an understanding as to what has occurred at the scene. And by doing so, we have to walk throughout the scene. So we wear booties and we wear gloves. In addition, obviously, we would have flashlights to help us look in areas to illuminate that aren't well lit. And it doesn't matter if there's lights in the room or not, we still would have our flashlights with us.
And you're doing your best to take in the scene without potentially disturbing it.
Correct. We refer to that as minimizing contamination. No matter what you try to do, you are going to contaminate the scene by entering and walking around. There's no way about it. We cannot float through space. But we minimize the contamination. So it does take a while for us to get through the scene. It is a process. It's a systematic approach. You just can't be walking haphazard through the scene. Again, we're relying on that scene to get us information, so we have to take everything in.
All right, and Deputy, I'm going to show you some exhibits. And I'm going to have you briefly look through them. And these are exhibits 176 through 302, as well as 551 and 552. Just going to have you briefly peruse those. Just let me know when you're finished. And if I could have HDMI left, I have it on a blink. And sorry. As a group deputy, how would you describe the photos, the exhibits that are up there?
These are photographs of the interior of 4595 Oak Springs Circle in the village of Windsor, Wisconsin.
And as exhibits, do they appear to be true and accurate depictions of what you observed on the scene?
Yes, they are.
All right, so at this time, I would move exhibits 176 through 193, 195 through 205, 204 through 218, 220 through 225, 227 through 248, 252 through 278, 292 through 302, as well as 551 and 552, and 310 through 312 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
Those are all received and may be published.
Okay. All right. So Deputy, just to begin with, how would you describe the Halderson home just in general?
I would describe the overall condition of the house to be half finished and half in state of repair. It appeared to be some renovations occurring inside of the residence, and they were still living within the house. So then there were areas that were completed with the renovations.
Did that pose any challenges to you and your team during the search?
Nothing significant, no.
Okay. All right, and I'm Exhibit 176. How would you describe Exhibit 176?
Exhibit 176 is a photograph of the living room, which I call on the main level of the residence. And we are looking to the west. In the far left corner, there's the entrance door to the residence that is just above grade. Directly in the middle of the photo, there's a set of stairs that ascend up to the upper level. The stairs go up to what I refer to as the bedroom level. The house is of a tri-level construction, so then there'll be an area that descends to the lower living room, family room area, and then yet again, there'll be a basement as well.
Could I see counsel with the
Yes,
the
absolutely.
sidebar for a brief moment?
All right, and Exhibit 178. What is Exhibit 178?
That is a photograph of the west wall of the same room. I'm sorry, that is the east wall of the same room that we were just in. We're just looking at the fireplace. That is a gas-sealed fireplace.
And a fireplace becomes significant in this case.
Yes, it does.
Is this the fireplace that became of any significance?
No, it is not.
Just in general, did the living room have any significant evidentiary value?
No, it did not.
Moving on, what does Exhibit 177 display?
Exhibit 177 is a photograph in the same living room. It is from the southeast corner, and now we're able to look out towards the north, and there's the dining room.
And this is actually Exhibit 9, an exhibit that we've seen earlier. But what does Exhibit 9 display?
This is a photograph of the dining room, and now we're able to see a portion of the kitchen that is to the northwest of this room.
And again, did the dining room have any significant evidentiary value to your investigation?
No, it did not.
What is Exhibit 179?
179 is a photograph that is taken from the doorway between the living room and the kitchen. This is the kitchen area. So standing at this doorway and looking to the north, we can see an exit door on the north side. And directly behind me, or opposing this, would be the entrance to the residence.
So that door there, does that go into the backyard or to somewhere else?
That opens up into the backyard. There's a set of stairs that descend down to the west.
Okay. All right. Was there anything really of note in your investigation in the kitchen?
No, there was not.
Exhibit 180, what is seen there?
This is the stairwell leading up to the second level or the bedroom level. And to the left in this photograph would be the front door, and then to the right would be to the kitchen.
And there's some blue tape that it appears above a light switch in Exhibit 180. Was that there when you arrived on scene, or is that part of your?
All of these photographs are how we found the scene.
Okay.
This is an initial walkthrough. We have not done anything at this point. So that is not from us. That was artifact from whoever had placed that there previously.
How would you describe 181?
181 is a photograph at the top of the stairs facing to the west. We can see an open door in the right portion of the photograph. And then there are two doors to the left on the left side of this. What you can't see around to the right is another door to a bathroom. And then if you were to button hook around the corner to the right in this photograph, there's another bedroom.
Exhibit 182, how would you describe it?
This is a photograph of the first room on the left that I referred to in the previous photograph. This is the doorway that opens up into the laundry room. This room appears to be under renovation. There's a lot of supplies in this room for insulation. There's some flooring in this room as well. And it appears that the plywood flooring on the floor has been put down as part of the renovation.
183, please describe it.
This is the same laundry room. This would be in the southwest corner of the laundry room. It appears to be a makeshift area where one would have their toiletry items and stuff that you would normally find in a bathroom.
184, more the same there.
That is correct, yes.
185, just a different view.
That is correct, yes.
186.
This is a photograph of a toothbrush that was located on the makeshift vanity, if you will, that was later collected as evidence.
And why was this toothbrush head collected?
The toothbrush was collected as a DNA source for what we believe to be Krista Halderson. Most of the items that were in that area were consistent with what a woman would have in their bathroom area. So we could assume that it was from Krista Halderson.
And Krista was, in fact, the only female residing at that location.
To my knowledge, that is correct.
Okay. I'm going to show you what has been marked as Exhibit 194. No need to glove up. I'm not going to ask you to open it. But can you tell from stickers from your office and perhaps initials what Exhibit 194 is?
Exhibit 194 has been marked with evidence number 41748. It is an electric toothbrush head that was collected and had subsequently gone and been submitted to the Wisconsin State Crime Laboratory, as their stickers affixed on here as well.
Okay. I would move Exhibit 194 into evidence at this time.
No objection.
It is received.
What does Exhibit 187 display?
187 is a photograph of the floor in the laundry room area. Specifically, we can see there are two alpha markers on the floor that have been placed by items of evidence.
And of course, I'm the one who arranged the photos. So these photos were taken after you had put down some placards.
That is correct.
And what is Exhibit 188?
Exhibit 188 is a reddish-brown stain that has been marked with the letter A in the laundry room on the floor.
189, the same but with the letter B?
That is correct.
What does Exhibit 190 display?
190 is a photograph in that same laundry room. This is, if you were to break the room in half, if you will, there was a washer and dryer in the previous photographs. There's a wall that separates the room. And there's a vacuum cleaner in this photograph, as well as some insulation and some flooring boards, is what it appears to be.
191?
This is the vacuum cleaner that I collected from the bathroom.
And why was the vacuum cleaner collected?
During the evaluation portion of the processing of the crime scene, I identified that there was blood on the side of the vacuum cleaner. And I had further tested that blood with phenolphthalein, which gives us a presumptive positive for blood. Under the appearance, they appeared to be blood, but we need to confirm those stains, so we confirmed those stains with phenolphthalein. Then I use a subsequent test yet again, and it's called the Hexagon Obti test. This test differentiates between human and non-human blood. And that test was positive.
For human blood or non-human blood?
Positive for human blood.
So the first test you do is phenolphthalein, and is that just like a chemical that you apply to a swab or something else?
Correct. So we take a swab and we put a drop of sterile water on the swab to collect a portion of that stain, and then we use the phenolphthalein solution, placing a drop onto the swab, followed by another chemical on top of that. And when it turns to a bright purple color almost instantly, that's an indicator that the presence of blood.
And then you perform a second test to say,
Correct.
is this
No, we don't-
human or is this something else?
Correct. No, we don't do that on every stain that we collect. We don't do the second test. The second test differentiates between human and non-human blood.
And why do you sometimes not do the second test?
It depends if it's in an area where there's a concentration of stains, and they can all potentially be from the same source. It is a tool that we utilize in order to be more effective in getting evidence tested at the crime lab. We're limited in the number of items that we can submit to the crime lab, but we cannot submit everything that we collect. So this is a screening tool that we utilize in order to help us look at the best probative value of that piece of evidence. So if we collect a stain, but we don't know what it is, we basically could be wasting somebody's time at the crime lab. Whereas if we're able to do the phenolphthalein test followed by the Hexagon OBTI test, then we're basically utilizing the resources to the best of our ability.
Moving on to Exhibit 192. What is Exhibit 192?
This is the side of the vacuum cleaner that was in that same laundry room. It's marked with letter E.
193.
Is the same photograph. We put numerical markers in there indicating the individual stains that were collected from the side of the vacuum cleaner.
Now, is it fair to say when you are looking at this scene, you don't necessarily know everything else that's occurring in the investigation? Is that fair?
That is fair. However, we do rely on communication. The success of any investigation when it relates to the crime scene investigators and the detectives involves communication. We are guided by information that we're getting from them. And additionally, we are providing information outside of the scene because they don't know everything that's going on inside the scene, just like we don't know everything that's happening outside of the scene.
And is it fair to say that sometimes you might think something is evidence of something and then learn another fact later on and it has an innocent explanation?
Absolutely.
Exhibit 10, please describe Exhibit 10 for the jury.
Exhibit 10 is a photograph of the bedroom that would be in the southwest corner of the bedroom level. This would be the doorway that was beyond the laundry room door on the same side of that hallway. Looking in here, this is the bedroom of Chandler Halderson.
Exhibit 11, another view of Mr. Halderson's bedroom.
Correct. This is a view from the entrance facing to the to the west and to the southwest.
Could you describe Exhibit 195?
This is the bedroom of Bart and Krista Halderson. This is in the northwest corner of the residence on the bedroom level.
And was there much that you found in their bedroom that was of evidentiary value to you?
No, there was not.
How would you describe Exhibit 196?
Exhibit 196 is a photograph of what I would call a spare bedroom. This would be the bedroom that I refer to as button hooking around the corner. So this, on the bedroom level, this would be in the northeast corner.
And again, was there much evidence collected from this room?
No, there was not.
Describe Exhibit, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to put in the 551, please.
Exhibit 551 is a photograph of the room that is between the bedroom of Bart and Krista Halderson in the northwest corner, and the previous photo of that spare bedroom. This room is between the two of them, so the wall to the right would butt up against the wall of that spare bedroom. This is a bathroom that is under renovation.
And this is Exhibit 552. Why'd you take this picture?
Well, I had previously been out to the crime scene at Irwin Road and was aware that there was a Rubbermaid rolling storage garbage type bin that was at that scene. And I saw that this cover was consistent with a cover that would fit that type of rolling garbage bin. Mind you, this photograph was taken after the initial walkthrough, and I had also saw in the garage area there is another refuse container consistent with appearance of the same Rubbermaid rolling storage garbage bin.
And the exhibits we've looked at, is that the entire bedroom level? Are there any more rooms left?
There are no more rooms on that level. There is a attic crawl space above the entrance to the bathroom.
And did you search that?
That was searched as well.
Anything of any evidentiary value found in the attic crawl space?
No, there was not.
Exhibit 197, what is Exhibit 197?
Exhibit 197 is the doorway opening to the bathroom. This is on the family room / office level. Also located on this same level would be access to the garage. So this level is at grade. This
So is this
shows,
the same level as the kitchen and dining room?
no, it is not. This is
Okay.
down one level. So we enter into the house through the front door, and that is the main level, if you will. And we ascend up the stairs to the left or to the west, and that's the bedroom level. As I spoke earlier of the photograph of the back door to the kitchen, and I referred to the front door being directly behind me. If I was to turn to the left and look down, I would have another set of stairs that would descend down into the family room, office, and garage level.
Exhibit 16, how would you describe Exhibit 16?
This is a photograph of the shower that's within the bathroom.
Anything of note at all in the bathroom?
In the bathroom, there were stains that were blood stains that were on the baseboard.
And you called them blood. Does that mean you did the phenolphthalein test?
I did not do the phenolphthalein test on those. Crime scene investigator, Deputy Jim Plenty, did the test on those.
And you guys often rely on each other's work, being partners.
Yes, we do.
Moving on to Exhibit 546. Could you please describe Exhibit 546?
Exhibit 546 is a photograph of what I refer to as the office area. As you can see in the near portion on the left side of this image, there is a wall. If we were standing at that wall and went around the corner, we would be looking straight at the entrance to the bathroom. So the bathroom is just to the left and beyond this office area.
And is this a photo, if you know, before you search the area and move things around, after, or something else?
This photograph was taken prior to any processing or anything being done.
And there was some items of note found in this area. Is that fair to say?
That is correct, yes.
And in collecting and photographing, is it fair to say you moved some of the paperwork?
Yes.
Okay. So in Exhibit 543, there appears, how would you describe Exhibit 543?
Exhibit 543 is a stack of papers and binders that were under the monitor that were on the desk.
Okay. And that's before you moved items again?
That is correct.
Okay. And then 198, how would you describe Exhibit 198?
These were photographs that were taken after the search of this area.
Okay. And Exhibit 543, there's an item there circled. Is that fair to say?
That is correct. It's a piece of paper that had writings on it and appeared to me to be consistent with access codes or passwords. Again, not knowing the relevance or importance of it, we simply just photographed it.
And to photograph it, you moved it?
That is correct, yes.
And that's Exhibit 198?
Yes.
I'm going to approach you with Exhibit 203. What is Exhibit 203?
Exhibit 203 is the actual documents that I had photographed. They're basically written in pen and pencil. There's some typed login information is what I refer to them as.
So basically every IT person's worst nightmare, a list of passwords.
Absolutely.
And can you just look at this briefly? And before some of them, it says you, like username. Is that fair to say? There's a U before.
Yes, it appears to have a U, which I would assume would be username, and then below it, there's a P, which I would assume to be password.
And I just want you to look roughly how many passwords are on these sheets of paper in Exhibit 203. There's a back.
There's a back. I would suggest that there is no less than 45 to 50, as some of them appear to have been crossed out, and there are additional writings around the outside border of this document as well.
And is Exhibit 203 in the same or substantially same condition as it was when you collected it from the Halderson desk?
Yes, it is. Although I was not the person that collected it, I was present at the time that it was collected.
Fair enough. At this time, I would move Exhibit 203 into evidence.
No objection.
It is received.
Based on the paperwork you went through and the totality of the desk area, could you tell whose desk it was?
There was a computer that was there. It was had a business card on it for a financial company in Middleton, and I came to the conclusion that that was the desk and office area for Bart Halderson.
And were you made aware during the investigation that he had been working from home like many people during 2021?
Yes, I was. I was aware of that.
And Exhibit 546. What is the red circled area in 546?
I believe that's around the documents that were collected.
And there's kind of one highlighted there in a screenshot from 543, which again was the video from the home that was previously played for the jury. Is that a fair description?
Yes.
And did you specifically move a document there, that document to be on top of the keyboard to photograph it?
I did not specifically move that, although it was moved there so that it could be photographed, yes.
Sure, by one of the other members of the crime scene.
That is correct.
And is that common to move items to aid in photography?
Absolutely.
But you are sure to document where it originally was first, is that fair?
That is correct as well.
Exhibit 201, is that a further picture of that document?
Yes, it is.
Just the top page, right? Deputy, I'm going to approach you with Exhibit 202. How would you describe Exhibit 202?
Exhibit 202 is the actual document that was previously shown on the screen, the photograph. It's an email which appears to be from Krista Halderson to a person named Bart. And the subject matter says Madison College. And the backside, it looks like a letter to Mr. Chandler Halderson from Citizens Bank.
And does this appear to be in the same condition as you saw it in the home?
Yes, it is.
At this time, I would move Exhibit 202 into evidence.
Actually, Your Honor, can we approach?
Of course.
to admitted.
Over objection, the evidence is received into evidence,
And I would ask permission to publish to the jury.
and you may.
All right. I'd actually like to pass this one around if that's okay.
We'll do that now. Counsel, we have to straighten out one exhibit number as the jury's looking at this, so you can continue passing that document, but we'll use up the time to.
Has the exhibit made its way through or? No, okay, I'm just. Deputy, thank you for waiting. How would you describe it, Exhibit 204?
Exhibit 204 is a photograph specific to the gray and white object, which is a Google Play device.
Is it the Google version of an Alexa, basically?
That is my understanding, correct, yes.
I believe it's called a Google Nest.
That is correct, yes.
Why was this picture taken?
Well, in the overall totality of everything, I saw that all of the cords were plugged into one central area. However, the cord that would plug into the outlet to power all of these was unplugged. So there was no power to the desk, if you will, which is where a number of these items were getting the electricity from.
Were there any other Google Nests throughout the home?
Yes, there was. In the main entry-level living room, when you enter in through the front door, there was a Google device on the north wall of the living room. That Google device was unplugged. There was also a Google device that was located in the basement area, and that Google device was also unplugged.
Was that significant to you at all?
It was. It drew attention because I recalled a previous case out of the state of Arkansas where there was a motion in a trial there to attempt to get any information that that listening device could have recorded, not just what was said when the wake-up word is used. So I thought it might have had some significance. That's why I photographed it.
And one additional question about the desk area. Was there a phone charger located on the desk area?
Yes, there was a phone charger, and if I recall, it was for like an iPhone.
Judge, this might be a good lunch stopping point.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, we will return at 1 o'clock, which gives you an hour and 10 minutes. I know there's some things that we will take care of in your absence. As always, don't spend any time while you're away from this room discussing this case with anyone or overhearing any discussions or taking any steps purposely, or avoid any steps unintentionally of being exposed to any information about the case. And we'll see everyone at 1 o'clock.
All right, hearing.